Hello, my name is Silvana Ayala, and I am a postdoc engineer at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. I work in the Performance and Reliability Group and focus on bifacial photovoltaics, optical and electrical modeling. This presentation is on how to install the bifacial Radiance software, which is an open-source software toolkit that leverages the Radiance ray trace software to generate scene geometries for evaluating bifacial system performance over the course of a year from measure or typical meteorological irradiance data. These are some examples of work developed with this software, and for more details, refer to our documentation and publication list in the Bifacial Radiance GitHub wiki. To install bifacial Radiance correctly, there are several steps you have to do first, which include installing various packages. The first one is to install Anaconda. Anaconda is a free and open-source distribution of Python programming language that aims to simplify package management and deployment. When you install it, you'll be able to run programs in Python and also use Jupyter journals, which is how we document bifacial Radiance examples. It is also a very handy installation for Python because it comes with most packages that you will need for any scientific computing. To download Anaconda, we have to Google Anaconda download. That will take us to the web page to download it. We have to select the operating system that we are going to be using. In our case, this is Windows. And then we can download the file. It is a big file, so we have already pre-downloaded it to demonstrate how to install it. So we click on the executable file. At this stage, we want to add Anaconda to the path. The installation is complete. It took approximately 10 minutes. We're gonna skip installing this and finish. Good. Now, the next step that we want to do is check if Anaconda installed the package pip, which we will need later down the installation process. So to do this, we're going to open a command prompt. And we're just going to type pip. It found the command, that's why it gives us all of the list. In case it has said command not found, there are certain steps that we can take to install it, which I am showing right now on the screen. We basically go to our browser and we are going to download get pip download, and it should be bootstrap. There's various options to download this. There we go. Okay, there we go. Here's getpip.py. We're going to save it as a Python file, put it on the desktop, and I'm not going to install it because it's already running for me. But we navigate to the desktop where we save the file. We can see that it's there, getpip.py, and we're going to type python getpip.py. We run it, and that should install pip. After that, we have to restart the command prompt. Okay. The next step is going to be to install Radiance. To install Radiance, we want to first download it. So Radiance download GitHub. NRel does a release that we're going to use as an executable. Make sure that you download the latest release official one. We navigate down after the README file, and here are all of our download options. If we click on it, it downloads. Again, we have it pre-downloaded before, so we're just going to install it. We agree. We want to add it to the system path again, at least for the current user. And that was the Radiance installation. What we want to do now is install some extra executables for Radiance that help us with visualization of the scenes images. So we're going to go to Google again. And we're going to do, they are starting this website that's called Jaloxa. The links to all of this, by the way, are on the GitHub, on the main page, on the Bifacial Radiance GitHub main page. Here we're going to go to Resources, Radiance, and it's Windows binaries. We go to download at the bottom, and we're going to download this zip file that has those files that we need to install. Okay. We unzip them, and what we want to do is we want to copy them to the bin folder of Radiance. We extract. And we have Radiance installed on C program files, I believe. There we go. And on the bin folder, we're going to copy them. I just copy and paste it, so. Okay, do this. There we go. So now we have all those files colored, GenBSDF, all those files on our Radiance bin folder. The next step before we proceed with the GitHub installation is to make sure that Radiance, Python, and Anaconda are on our path. We select that installation and add it to the path, but in case you didn't, you may want to check this. So there's different ways, depending on the Windows environment or on the OS environment, that you can add programs to the path. In this case, for Windows 10, we just search for environment variables. And if we click on environment variables, this window pops up. Oh, there we go. We have all of the Anaconda elements here and the Radiance bin file here. So that should be enough for it to recognize whenever we call the software. In case it is not there, make sure that it says something like Anaconda 2 or Anaconda 3, and then your whatever direction you have for Radiance or the Radiance bin. You can add them. If you're having issues, just add all of them. Okay, the next step is going to be install PVLib. So PVLib is another open source library for development of photovoltaic systems, calculates sun position or tracker position, that's what we call it from Bifacial Radiance. And to install it, the easiest way is to open a command prompt and do pip install PVLib. It automatically knows which PVLib we're talking about because it's on GitHub, downloads the files, and installs it. Okay, that's installed. Another way, if this doesn't work for you, is to do a Google search for PVLib on GitHub. That opens the GitHub webpage. And here on clone or download, we can do a download zip file. After we download it, which we already have downloaded on, we extract it. And again, this is in case the pip install PVLib didn't work. Okay. And we probably want to copy this folder to somewhere where we want to keep it, like documents. And in our command line, we're going to navigate to that folder, which is cd PVLib Python master, right? And once we're here, we're going to do a pip install period. This will run a setup file that is on this folder, that setup.py, pip install period, and it will install it. It's finding that I had already installed it, so it's doing a reinstallation. Okay, so now the next step is to finally install bifacial radiance. And to do install bifacial radiance, we can Google it. Bifacial Radiance Github. There we go. And rows bifacial radiance. We're going to do the same procedure, download the zip file. We already downloaded it. So we are going to extract it. Okay, we probably also want this folder on documents or something easy to access. We're going to come to the folder. And as you can see, we also have a setup.py. So we're going to repeat the procedure that we used for PVLib. We're going to do pip install period.
This installation with pip install period is good for the users that are just planning on using the pre-established functions in bifacial radiance. If you're planning on modifying the core code to fit your necessities, any of these files, adding functions or modifying internal values, we recommend installing bifacial radiance using pip install -e. The extra -e installs the software in place, such that any changes you make to the bifacial radiance files in the documents directory will automatically be included when you run the files again. Instead of doing pip install period, you just type -e. Otherwise, you need to rerun pip install period every time you make any changes to the files in the directory.
Great, so it finished successfully installing bifacial radiance. And now the only thing that's left to do is to make sure that we move gencumulative sky executable to Radiance folder. So this executable is, if you go to your documents, bifacial radiance master, it's gonna be on data. I'm going to copy this false color and gencumulative sky. We're going to come to, again, C, program files, Radiance, bin, and copy it here. So false color is repeated from the Jaloxa that we did before. Yes, that's okay. And it copied the generate cumulative sky file. Great. Now you're all set up to start using bifacial radiance. Remember that all of these steps are also explained on the main page of bifacial radiance on the README. Here are the installation, moving cumulative sky, and finally, make sure to reboot your computer before you start using the software. Now, if we want to test if it works, we have to open an Anaconda navigator. On Anaconda, one simple way to test that is going to be to open Spider, which is our Python software development environment. We are going to open the bifacial radiance Python file. So on our documents, bifacial radiance masters, bifacial radiance, and this Python file. And we can run it. It's going to ask us to create a folder, which we're going to call test1. And this folder, test1, is creating all of these folders and saving all of the intermediate documents to create the scene and calculate your radiance. And by the way, the commands that it's running are here at the bottom of the example file. It's creating a scene with a tilt of 10 degrees, pitch of 1.5 meters, height of 0.2 meters, and an azimuth of 180 that's facing south for a location of this latitude and longitude, which I think corresponds to Richmond, Virginia. As it goes through, it informs us what it's doing. It's downloading an EPW weather file, creating the sky, created a module, and now it's doing the scanning of the front-side irradiance. Well, while it finishes, let me show you what's going on test folder. We create all of these folders, and it's going to put the results in this Excel file here. And it finished, saved the results into irradiance simple panel, and the ratio of bifacial ratio average I calculated was 12.8%. Our results are here. Another way to use bifacial radiance is to try out our documentation Jupyter journals. So launch Jupyter from your Anaconda navigator. This shows you the folders on your computer, and we have our bifacial radiance installation on documents. So we click on documents, bifacial radiance masters, and all of the examples are here on documents. We have examples, one-axis tracking, and some new functionalities from the latest release. So if we click on the journal, it will open the journal notebook, which has some text on how to install it and examples on how to run it. So to run each cell, click run. The star means that it's running. And it should reproduce the same results that are showing here. So you can modify this to do whatever number of modules or rows, height, pitch, and this will give you an example of how to run bifacial radiance to simulate your array system. I hope this tutorial was useful. If you have any questions, please reach out through the issues page on the GitHub for bifacial radiance.